I went to college at the University of Chicago, you know, discovered beer and weed and various things. I'd been kind of more straight laced in high school. Took my junior year abroad at London School of Economics, which is where I officially came out, and
Do you
then
think
came
there's
back.
a? Do you think there's a it's the going away somewhere like that and
Yeah,
coming out in a
I'm
different
sure it
place
was
is
like,
for
I mean,
me.
look, London.
That's what happened to
Yeah,
me too. I mean, it
yeah,
was coming to America that gave me an opportunity to start over in a way and to be honest in a way that I felt I couldn't have been before.
yeah. I mean, first of all, like spending a year in London and like the LSE dorms were like right in the middle of the West End, which was the place to be at that time, right? Like that's a really fun experience. When I got back from Heathrow, my taxi driver dropped me off at the dorm. He's like, "You're going to have a lot of fun. You're not going to get much work done this year," right? Which is a pretty accurate prediction. But I'm sure in the back of my head, it was also like, okay, here's a place where you have more of a blank slate and can do this thing that you need to do.
Where did you go to come out? Where were the places that you visited or ways in which that you could do that? What year are we talking about, by the way? Because this is
So
pre.
so junior year, I guess I'm what 20, I guess.
Okay, but the year, the actual.
1999. Yeah.
Okay, it's just important to have the iPhone era separate from the real life era, which occurred before it.
Oh yeah, I don't know what I've been like in the real, but yeah.
But there
So
were
it's an
places
era
to
where,
go to and meet people and hang out.
yeah, it's like peak London gay club era, I
It
think,
was,
and kind of a
yeah.
lot of peak London like night clubbing in general. So there, I just kind of like I went to the stupid like fucking LGBT. I don't know how many letters there were back then, right? Whatever it was called back then, right?
Yeah.
Society and just yeah, and you just
And
like
what
do networking and
left very quickly, or what?
no, it was actually because this is like it was not super political, right? It was about like meeting friends and like I don't think we ever even like once in a meeting discussed politics, right? It's like
Mm,
1999, which is like a time when in liberal environments you're comfortable being out, but you might not necessarily know a lot of gay people. It's just like to go and
mm-hmm,
socialize, meet people to hook up with or friends of friends and things like
mm.
that. It was entirely apolitical, right? I remember the next year I was back at University of Chicago and like went to the much more political version of this, and like that wasn't for me. I met like one date from it. They're like, I'm not going to these meetings again. But no, look, I mean, so like I don't necessarily I don't know. I mean, kind of what you're getting at earlier a little bit, Andrew, was like I have all these different influences in my life, right? There's the gay. I mean, you've talked, I think, about how gay men have an advantage because they have this peer network to the extent they want to tap into it that is kind of cross sectional and at cross purpose with other things they might do in life, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like I have two of those things between being gay and poker, right? Where like poker is also this universe where you meet people from many different walks of life, many different backgrounds. Yes, they tend to be kind of mathematical and competitive and nerdy, but it's like this alternate world that you can dip into, right? I can go to this poker tournament in Paris and see people I'll see twice a year and then go home and have this like nice life I can opt into or opt out of and it just kind of makes you I think more pluralistic and not dependent in particular on the approval of certain types of like media
Mm-hmm.
types of people.
Yes, you had an outlet outside of your media peers. Well, you weren't then in the media, but at some point, yes, I think that if I had not been gay, I wouldn't have had an alternative social life to being among my media peers, and I think that would have. I think it helped me get some distance from them, and certainly when I needed to 20, 25 years ago, which is go out on my own, I felt I probably had more independence from those cliques and that sort of sense of society than others did because I was gay, and that is it is a lovely thing to be in one world and and then in another in the same. And people talk about this as if it's a terrible thing that you're marginalized, you're code switching, but no, code switching is fun. It means you have another universe to live in, and it has its own language, it has its own rules. You have different kinds of relationships within each of those things.
No, it helps. And like I've been working on this book now where I like dive deep into like 6 or 7 different worlds, right? And I'm not claiming to have I probably have average-ish, social and emotional intelligence, right? Not like particularly strong, but I'm adaptable, and I've like been in a lot of places now in my 46 years and done a lot of things and met lots of different types of people. And so like it's just kind of common sense, like knowing how to have conversations with different types of people